Hi students. So today in this video session let us solve few of the JEE question purely based upon the vector algebra concept only. So in that first question they have given if vector A plus vector B is equal to vector P and vector A minus vector B is equal to vector Q, then which of the following equation is going to be satisfied with this above two conditions. So before solving this one, uh, look into the question options once. So how we need to solve this question, it is purely depend upon what and all the options they have given. So clearly upon our RHS of all the questions, what we are having, magnitude of vector p square plus or minus magnitude of vector q square. So we need to get whatever, or we need to find an answer which is in this format. So we know that magnitude of vector a square is equal to what? Vector a dot vector h. So this is one of the important property as I mentioned in the vector algebra concept. So with this concept we are going to solve this whole question. So what they have given, vector a plus vector b is equal to vector p and vector a minus vector b is equal to vector q. Suppose if I take vector a plus vector b whole square is equal to magnitude of vector p whole square, means what does this implies? That is nothing but vector a plus vector b dot vector a plus vector b, which is equal to magnitude of vector p square. How we are going to deal with this? This is nothing but magnitude of vector a square plus magnitude of vector b square plus 2 times vector a dot vector b is equal to magnitude of vector p square. So let it be here. I will call this one as equation 1. Again we are having vector a minus vector b is equal to vector q. This implies I can write it as vector a minus vector b, magnitude of vector a minus vector b whole square is equal to magnitude of vector q whole square. This I can write it as vector a minus vector b dot vector a minus vector b is equal to magnitude of vector q whole square. How I am going to solve this one? That is nothing but magnitude of vector a square plus magnitude of vector b square minus 2 times vector a dot vector b is equal to magnitude of vector q whole square. Now I will call this one as equation 2. Now looking into equation 1 and 2 and with all these options, think once which is the possible operation which we can apply here. Suppose if I apply operation, that is addition. If I add equation 1 and equation 2, what happens? That is nothing but vector a square plus vector b square, magnitude of vector a square plus magnitude of vector b square 2 times vector a dot vector b plus now LHS of equation 2, that is magnitude of vector a square magnitude of vector b square minus 2 times vector a dot vector b is equal to magnitude of vector p square plus magnitude of vector q square. So clearly this one and this one get cancels. So 2 times magnitude of vector a square plus magnitude of vector b square is equal to magnitude of vector p square plus magnitude of vector q square. Whether this is in the given option, yes, we have option B. In the option B we are going to satisfy this one. So suppose if you take operation negative, means at that time these things going to be get cancelled. We are going to get remaining with what? This one and this one. So that is nothing but 4 times vector a dot vector b. Whether there is anything in the LHS in this format? No, none of the question is in this format. So before taking negative only, we know if we or take subtract equation 1 and 2, means at that time these two going to get cancelled. That idea we are going to get in the beginning itself by looking into the equation. So I didn't went with the operation or subtracting those two equation. I went with the adding those two expression 1 and 2, so that in the LHS also we are going to be get equation in the form of magnitude of vector a square and magnitude of vector b square. So our option is A, not A, it is B, which is going to be get satisfied for the given two condition. This is how we are going to solve the question. So now let us move to the next question. They have given ABCD is a parallelogram with AC has one of the vector and BD has one of the vector. So we need to find the area of the parallelogram. Suppose if I take a parallelogram ABCD means, so what they have given AC. AC means what? The diagonal. BD means what? Diagonal. So what they have given here is they have given the two diagonals of a parallelogram. By using the diagonals of a parallelogram, we need to find the area of the parallelogram. So in the textbook or whatever the formula we have to find the area of the parallelogram, when the two adjacent sides are given, that is if vector AB is nothing but vector A and vector AD is our vector B means, then the area of parallelogram is what? It is nothing but vector A cross vector B. So this is what we have learned. But here they are not given the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Here they have given two diagonals of a parallelogram. So which formula or how we are dealing with to find the area of the parallelogram when two diagonals are given? So I will explain it first, then with that formula we can go with the how we are going to find the area of the parallelogram. Suppose now ABCD, if this is a parallelogram and AC and BD are the two diagonals which are given. So if two diagonals are given and we need to find the area of parallelogram means, we know that clearly area of parallelogram, that one is equal to what? 2 times area of the triangle ABC. Will you agree that one? ABC. If you find that area of triangle and flip it along the diagonal AC means, we are going to get two similar triangle ABC and ACD. So 2 times the area of triangle ABC is nothing but the area of the parallelogram. So this is what the one of the thing which we know. So what is area of triangle ABC? We know that it is nothing but half into base into height, right? So 2 get cancels. So what is the base in the triangle ABC? So I am taking the base as AC. Why AC only? Because we know only the two diagonals of a parallelogram. So whatever we are dealing here, that should be concentrated upon two diagonals only, because we have no other data other than these two diagonals. So I am taking the base as our AC, that is vector AC. What is our height? If I draw a perpendicular from the point B means in the triangle ABC, I point it as D. So vector BD is the height. Now suppose if I call this angle as theta, what is BD? So vector AC I will keep it as it is. What is vector BD? So in the triangle BD it is the opposite side. So opposite side means sin theta is equal to BD, opposite by hypotenuse, that is what? Which is OB. So we need BD means what? OB sin theta is equal to side BD. So what is vector BD? It is nothing but vector OB sin theta in the triangle OBD I have considered. Now what is OB? Our OB, vector OB, it is nothing but half of the diagonal BD, right? Since it is a center, O is the center part means half of the diagonal BD is nothing but our vector OB. So I am replacing that one here. So vector AC into half of the vector BD into sin theta. If I take half outside means what is remaining? Vector AC cross, vector AC into, this is not at all cross, this is into here, vector AC into vector BD sin theta, which is nothing but half vector AC cross vector BD, vector AC cross vector BD. So area of parallelogram is what? Half of the cross product of two diagonals, because AC is also our diagonal, BD is also diagonal. So remember this one of the important formula to do some of the questions, or to find the area of parallelograms when the two diagonals are given, which is very very important, because this is not at all mentioned in your NCERT textbook. So that's why I have did this one to remember, or how this formula is arrived. So to know that one, I have did all this procedure. Now you know this formula. Now solving this question is damn easy if you know all these things. This is the thing which I have done it for your understanding purpose. Remembering this formula is very important. So what is the area of parallelogram when two diagonals are given? Half into cross product of two diagonals. So what is the diagonal? That is vector AC is here our I cap minus 2j cap plus k cap. And what is our vector BD here? Vector BD here, it is nothing but minus I cap plus 2j cap minus 5k cap. Now taking the cross product of these two vectors, you are going to get the value. So that is vector AC cross vector BD, that is I cap, j cap, k cap. 1 minus 2 1 minus 1 2 minus 5. So I am expanding it along the first row. So that is nothing but 5 2s are 10 minus 2 minus j cap. So it is nothing but minus 5, 1 into minus 5, and next it is plus 1 plus k cap. It is nothing but 2 minus 2. So here it becomes 0. So it is nothing but 8 I cap and minus 4 j cap. But we need, that is nothing but half of this one, half of vector AB cross vector BD. So half means what happens here? That is 4 I cap minus 2 j cap. But we need the magnitude of this one. So magnitude of that one is nothing but square root of 4 square plus minus 2 square. It is nothing but square root of 16 plus 4, which is square root of 20. So I can write square root of 20 as square root of 4 into 5, which is 2 root 5. So this option is in the question, that is option B, 2 root 5 square unit. So all this procedure is for your understanding purpose. If you know this formula, dealing with it is a direct question. So this is one of the direct question they have asked in the question, but you need to know how we are, what is the formula when two diagonals are given. That is most important. So let us move to the next question, that is let vector A, vector B, vector C be the unit vectors such that the sum of three vectors is equal to x, and the dot product of vector A dot vector x is equal to 1, vector B dot vector x is equal to 3 by 2, and magnitude of vector x is 2, and we need to find the angle between C and vector C and vector x, and they have given us the 4 options also. So we need to find the angle between vector C and vector x, and all the questions are in the cos. So which formula will come into your mind that we need to find the angle between vector C and vector x? Means the thing which formula or the idea which comes to our mind is dot product, because in the dot product we are having the cos formula. So vector C dot vector x is equal to magnitude of vector C into magnitude of vector x cos theta. So we know the magnitude of vector x here, that is 2. Magnitude of vector C, it is obviously 1 because it is a unit vector, and we need to find this theta itself, but we don't know what is vector C dot vector x. So the thing is we need to find vector C dot vector x, but they have given vector A dot vector x and vector B dot vector x. So what is the data we are having? First thing, use that one, that is vector A plus vector B plus vector C is equal to vector x. We having what? Vector A dot vector x, vector B dot vector x. What we require? Vector C dot vector x. Which idea flashes into your mind? Taking the dot product on both the side with the vector x, that is vector A plus vector B plus vector C dot vector x is equal to vector x dot vector x. So what is this one? It is nothing but vector a dot vector x plus vector b dot vector x plus vector c dot vector x, and this is nothing but magnitude of vector x square. What is vector a dot vector x? 1. What is vector b dot vector x? It is 3 by 2. This is what we required. So vector c dot vector x. So magnitude of vector x, it is 2. So 2 square means it is 4. If I take the LCM, means what happens? 2 ones are 2. 2 plus 3, it is 5 by 2. Plus vector c dot vector x is equal to 4. So vector c dot vector x is equal to 4 minus 5 by 2. So what happens here? 4 2s are 8 minus 5 by 2, which is nothing but 3 by 2. So we got now vector c dot vector x is equal to 3 by 2. Use that one here. That is vector c dot vector x is equal to 3 by 2. And this value is 1. Magnitude of vector x, it is 2 cos theta. If I bring 2 to the LHS, what happens? 2 to the LHS means it is nothing but 3 by 4 is equal to cos theta. So theta is nothing but cos inverse 3 by 4. Sorry guys, it is not 2, it is 3 by 4. It is a mistake. I think I have the same mistake I have repeated in the question also. So change, correct the mistake in the option here. So theta is equal to cos inverse 3 by 4. So option B is the correct one. So it is an option B. So even in this question, it is also a direct thing. So the idea is, by looking into the given data, which thing we need to apply, that is the main agenda. So they have given the angle. This idea will automatically flashes into your mind. What and all data required to get an angle, that is the thing you need to think here. Here we need to collect this one, but along with the, in the question we have some of the datas. So how we can collect what we require and the given data together, that idea is flashed in this step. So flashing this step is very important in this question. So let us move to the next question, that is, if magnitude of vector A is 4, magnitude of vector B is 2, and the angle between these two vector is equal to pi by 6, means then what is the magnitude of vector A cross vector B whole square is equal to? They have given you the 4 options. We need to find that one. So we need to find what is the value of this one. So with this given data, let us first find out what is vector A dot vector B. So what is vector A dot vector B? That is magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, cos theta. Here theta, it is nothing but pi by 6. What is magnitude of vector A? It is 4 into 2, and cos pi by 6, it is nothing but root 3 by 2. 2 get cancelled, so 4 root 3. So it is nothing but vector A dot vector B. So we got the dot product between the two vectors, that is vector A and vector B. So clearly we know that vector dot vector B is equal to magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, cos theta. And what is vector A cross vector B? It is nothing but magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, sin theta. What we required here? Magnitude of vector A cross vector B whole square. Suppose if I take, by looking into these two equation, suppose if I take magnitude of vector B, dot product vector A dot vector B, magnitude of vector A dot vector B whole square plus magnitude of vector A cross vector B whole square is equal to, what happens to the our LHS part? Taking the square means the square of all those things. So from both the equation we can get magnitude of vector A square and magnitude of vector B square common outside. Remaining is cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is nothing but 1. So what is the thing? Magnitude of vector A dot vector B whole square plus magnitude of vector A cross vector B whole square is equal to magnitude of vector A square into vector B square. So this is one of the formula. So what I did here is, before using this formula in this question, I have derived it, or I have shown you how this formula is going to be coming. So I am using now this formula in this question, that is magnitude of vector A dot vector B whole square plus magnitude of vector A cross vector B whole square is equal to magnitude of vector A square into magnitude of vector B square. So now we have this formula. What and all required data we have already collected, that is magnitude of vector A dot vector B we are having. So magnitude of that whole square is not at all a big thing, and all these two things are already given in the data. So what is this? Vector A dot vector B means 4 root 3 whole square plus magnitude of vector A cross vector B whole square. Magnitude of A is 4, means 4 square into 2 square, which is nothing but 16 into 4. Here we are having 16 into 3 plus magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector A cross magnitude of vector B whole square. So 16 3s are 48 plus magnitude of vector A cross vector B, 16 4s are 64. So that is nothing but magnitude of vector A cross vector B, it is nothing but 64 minus 48, which is nothing but 16. So what we required that itself, magnitude of vector A cross vector B whole square, which is 16. So it is option B. So this derivation is for your understanding purpose. This is purely for your understanding how this formula is came. So to clear that one, I have did all this part. So you need to remember this formula. Even this formula is very important. You can it might be useful in some other questions also, to get either our dot product or cross product when we are having rest of the data, means at that time it might be very useful. So this is how we are going to solve this question. So now let us move to the next question, that is, if vector A, vector B, vector C are the vectors such that the sum of these three vectors is equal to 0 vector, and magnitude of vector A is 7, magnitude of vector B is 5, magnitude of vector C is 3, and we need to find the angle between vector B and vector C. So by looking into the option, it is damn clear that we are going to get a perfect angle. So how we are going to, which formula, all these things will rise into your minds. But the first thing is look into the given data, what and all they have given. So we are having magnitude of all the three vectors, and they have given sum of the three vectors is equal to 0. So what we require, angle between B and C. So what I will do is, I will keep vector B and vector C as it is. I will move vector A on to the vector A to the RHS. Now taking the squaring on both the side, what we are going to get, it is nothing but magnitude of vector B plus magnitude of vector C plus 2 times vector B dot vector C is equal to magnitude of vector A square. What is magnitude of vector B? It is 5, so 25. Vector magnitude of vector C, it is 3, so 3 square, it is 9. We needed with the dot product only we can get the angle between B and C. So that's why I kept B and C together and moved A to the RHS. What is magnitude of vector A? It is 7, 7 square, it is 49. So 2 times vector B dot vector C is equal to 49 minus 25 minus 9, which is equal to 15. So 2 times vector B dot C is equal to 15. What is vector B dot C? It is nothing but 2 times magnitude of vector B, magnitude of vector C, cos theta, which is equal to 15. What is magnitude of vector B? It is nothing but 5. What is magnitude of vector C? It is nothing but 3 into cos theta is equal to 15. 5 3s are 15, 15 get cancels. So 2 cos theta is equal to 1. So cos theta is equal to 1 by 2. So what is theta? Theta is nothing but cos inverse of 1 by 2. So cos inverse of 1 by 2 means it is nothing but pi by 3, which is our angle 60 degrees. So option A. So this is also one of the direct question. This is the important step. By this you can deal with this one. So it is a direct question and it is solved directly, where no other formula is used other than just rearranging of some of the given data what they are in the question. So these are the few JEE questions upon the chapter vector algebra. So again, here all the 5 questions which I have discussed in this video, I have gone with bit detailed information and in the detailed manner. Even though after watching this video, even though if you have some of the doubts or some of the clarification regarding any of the step, means you can ask me at any times. So go through all the questions, understand the questions and try to solve. Before watching the solution, try to solve each and every question by yourself, and later you can, suppose if you didn't get the answer, means you can compare where you have gone wrong or which idea has might been gone wrong. So that's all regarding these questions. Thank you, students.